Ladies and gentlemen, good morning and welcome to another Friday edition of the Toxic Happy Hour, where we are toxic towards scams. Today we have a very special edition. We've got a bit of football. We got a little bit of football focus. We got some pro ballers living the dream in. That's it. Um, we have a couple of pro bowlers here living the dream in Tampa, Florida. I don't know if you guys remember when we were kids, we all wanted to be good at playing football. Some were really, really good. They went on to play and get paid to do what they love doing, play ball and live the dream. And we have two of those guys here today that were at that extreme elite level when they were kids and now are making a living doing what they love. Kevin and Lucky, welcome to the show. We're so excited to finally get you guys on. We've spoken to you for a while, so welcome. And let's start with you, Kev. What are you drinking today?
Just water, normal water.
Awesome.
Being healthy.
We got to be healthy, especially if you're a pro baller. Lucky, welcome also to you to the show. What are you drinking today?
Thank you, guys. I'm drinking yerba mate,
which is a green tea or something.
Loose green tea, South American drink. A loose green tea. One of my teammates got me into it.
Awesome. And you guys are both liking Bitcoin, and we're so excited to get into hearing some more about that. But I presume both of you, wait, apart from Tampa Bay Rowdies that you play for, what is your favorite team that you guys support?
For me, internationally, Barcelona.
I'm an Arsenal fan. Gunners.
The Gunners are great.
Yeah.
What about you, Lucky?
I'm an Arsenal fan.
He said Arsenal. Yeah.
Okay. I thought it was Kev was mentioning both Barcelona and Arsenal. Right. Excellent. So, and Publord is finally back at his undisclosed pub location, doing the real thing, straight out of the benches on the local pub. What are you drinking today, Publord?
Well, also much like Kevin, I'm young and healthy, so I have water just with hops and barley included. Just an Indian pale ale. It's a funny story. So Lucky was talking about his tea, and is that was your friend from Peru by chance, or
Uruguay?
Uruguay. Okay, yes. So it's funny, in South America with my job, I get to travel around the world so much. But yeah, they carry. You have two things. You got the cup, but you got your tea. You carry in this little. It's like a. It's like a, what do you call it? Not a flask. It's like a.
Yeah.
But everyone walks around the street, and you always have it in your hand.
Yeah.
The loose leaf tea. So that's a great drink. You got to try it.
It is.
It's that usually you get to share with a lot of people. Like you pass it around.
Yeah. But now
hanging out with people, you just pass it around, and then you just start hanging out.
Yeah.
Nice. Publord, we want to hear your favorite team as well. Before I'll end it in case if it's not very obvious. But
yeah,
what's your favorite football team? And let's just clarify that when we talk about football, we're talking about the football game where you use your feet. Football is when you use your feet, where American handball, American football, they use mainly the hands. So I never really understood why they call it football. But anyway, of course, respect to all sports out there. Being fit and exercise is really important. But for us, football is the sport where you use the feet.
Yeah, so a couple teams. One, I love Barcelona, like he mentioned. Messi to me is just ridiculous. Such a sublime player and a great history. I'll tell you, as an American playing in the 70s and 80s, this is before you had cable television, or it was just coming online. So you didn't have the big name teams yet. But one of the first teams I came across was, in 1989, the Premier League sort of went live. And the first team we got to see a lot of here was Manchester United. And I was a big Eric Cantona fan. I just loved his attitude on there. But when they had those late 80 teams with Sir Alex Ferguson there, when you got between Beckham, Ryan Giggs, Paul Scholes. I mean,
There was
those
someone
teams.
in the goal as well. There was someone in the goal again.
Oh, Schmeichel, I believe, Danish
Eden
guy.
Schmeichel.
Yeah,
Yeah.
good goalie.
Yeah,
Who
yeah.
was
I was gonna say, thank God he had such a good team in front of him, or he would have given up 5 goals a game.
right, right. Because him winning the 1992 Europe Cup, coming from a tiny country with at that time 5 million population, would otherwise
Yeah,
have just been by chance. But yeah, so if I should
yeah.
mention who I support, my favorite football club definitely is Brøndby here, which I have a little bit of gear you see there. And this is, and we can talk a little bit about that, special historic moments for you and your in your football club. This
Yeah.
was back in in 2005, where we were playing. The derbies where you're playing the arch enemy, and we were playing against FC Copenhagen, which we can't stand, and they can't stand us. And that day where we same season as we won the goal, we also beat them 5-0, which is kind of humiliating. So we all got this shirt on the back. I have who scored at what minute of the game and everything. So Brøndby from Denmark outside Copenhagen is my team.
That's
So
cool.
those are the two biggest teams in Denmark.
Yes, if you're measuring on championships, I believe we have 10 each. However, we got our 10 before FC Copenhagen have dominated the last 15 years pretty much in Denmark, which has been really, really tough for us. But we are coming back now with a better, financial foundation. If you look at how many fans, Brøndby by far is the biggest, and we are the only team that when we play an away game, the entire away section in Denmark is always filled up with Brøndby fans. And usually our fans on an away game are louder than the home crowd.
Wow,
Nice.
that's cool.
Unless
That's
it's
cool.
FC Copenhagen. I mean, that's a big club as well, right? So
Hmm.
so then we have every time we play Copenhagen, we have full stadiums, and they're just singing towards each other. The two fan groups, and creating an amazing atmosphere.
So your Bitcoin dream basically is to let it go to the moon, and then you can pump some money into your hometown club.
How did you figure? I was thinking about it this morning in the shower. For starters, my dream would to buy the main sponsorship and put a Bitcoin on the chest of these guys.
Nice.
That would be nice.
Yeah. So what about your? Do you have some of those great memories from your favorite clubs? Special events, whatever. Either with the club you support, Barcelona or Arsenal, or with where you've been playing.
Yeah, for me, Arsenal, because my dad is an Arsenal fan growing up.
Yeah.
All we did was watch Arsenal. And those are the times when there was Thierry Henry, Patrick
Yeah.
Vieira. So I got on in there, and I fell for the team, and that became my favorite team. And remember, we became rivals with Manchester United.
Yeah. Yeah. Great games.
Every time a Man U would play, I always supported the other team.
Oh, those are classic matches. So did you try to model your game growing up over Thierry Henry, or was he just such a different player? I know he's a bit taller, actually, I believe, for a striker.
Actually, yes. Actually, he's like one of my mentors growing up. Watching him, trying, even if he's taller, there's things that he does that I took from, and I've been implying in my game. So
That's fantastic. Kevin, what about you, man?
Well, for me, I already said I'm a Barcelona fan. Everyone knows
Yeah.
that the greatest time it was when Guardiola was the coach. Everyone
Yeah.
knows the story, but I wanna tell you guys about another story, a painful one. Uh, I'm a big supporter of one of the teams in Mexico, and
Uh-huh.
it's been more than 20 years that that club hasn't been champion. So there was this one time when they were gonna play the final against the rival, the enemy, like
Yeah.
you said, the arch rival. and they were winning 2-0,
No.
90 minutes.
Oh.
They tied the game. We went to PKs and we lost.
Oh.
Uh,
That's been the most painful one. I think I
wow.
cried that day. My mom was like, "What are you doing on the floor?" I mean, I'm just so
This
passionate
close,
about
Trevor, this
soccer.
close.
Hey,
Huh?
that was last year, by the way. That was only last year. Why
Yeah,
are you
yeah,
on the floor? Hey, listen, your favorite teams and crying, it never really goes away. You just know how to hide it better.
yeah. I didn't even realize when I was on the floor until my mom she told me like, "Hey, what are you doing on the floor?" You know, like I don't even know.
So for me, I'm like generally as a person, a really eternal optimist. So for the last 15 years where Brøndby hasn't won the championship, each year at the beginning of the season, I'm like, guys, this year we're gonna win, and I believe it. Like I believed it this year, but we already started sliding down a little bit. I think we're number 4 now or something. But anytime we have some of those terrible experiences where we lose the championship, like on one goal, like in overtime or something, I throw it under the rock. I forget it. It's out of my memory, like fairly close to 100%. What I remember are just the good times. So I'm an optimist focusing on the good times, really.
I like that. I like that.
Nice.
That's all you can do, man.
Yeah.
With Manchester United, it's changed over the years, of course, since Ferguson left in that team. But the year that they won the treble was ridiculous. I believe it was at the end of the Champions League. They scored 2 goals. Kevin reminded me of this. They scored 2 goals at the very end to secure the treble, which was, yeah, it's an amazing feat for any club to do.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, I
So
remember the Champions League against Bayern. I think it was
Yes,
99.
yes, yes, yep. 99. Yes, you're absolutely right. Yep.
I remember that
Kevin,
was like
Kevin,
so.
I think was 5 years old.
Oh yeah.
I almost became a Man U fan there. Almost.
Almost. No, you guys stay with Arsenal. You
Yeah.
honor you honor your father the same way.
Mhm.
So tell us about, I guess, uh, both of you have understanding of Bitcoin and are pro Bitcoin. This is what I heard from Publord, but I'd love to hear from you guys what you actually think um, of Bitcoin and like what kind of exposure do you like to have to it? What are you doing with it? What's your faith in it? Do you believe we are in a bull? There's a lot of questions now, but we'll take it. Do you believe we're in a bull run? Where do you think we're going? And also, are you the only 2 guys on Tampa Bay Rowdies that are Bitcoiners? And when you talk to other people, what's the response? Lucky, maybe we can go with you. I'm just gonna. Can you
Yeah,
mute a little? Wait, I can mute. I can mute Puppy while you're
yeah.
not
Go
talking. Just
ahead.
'cause there's a little bit of sound now. Lucky, please go ahead.
Okay. Uh, well, for me, I'm sure you listened to the podcast from then, and for me, it has just changed my overall outlook on how I handle myself every day. Because it's just that sense that it's hard money. It's sound money, and that the future you're gonna be okay. All you need to do is just make sure you take care of your health. You enjoy every day, but at the same time, you're also you have that low time preference attitude on everything you do. Especially for me and Kevin practice, we joke around, we come in the morning and we say, Papa, we call each other Papa. And we'll be like, what type of session do you think we have today? A fear session or BTC session? So everything we say, we use like we kind of like knowledge of people in it, and even if like you're having a tough day, you can laugh it off, and you know that there's hope somewhere um, in the future, and what and we're really early too, you know, and to be early in such an amazing uh, technology, you know, and an underlying technology that's gonna crazy in the next coming years. You know, it's special. It feels like you're just walking amongst like people who have no idea what's going on. You know?
Right. Nice. And so, do you guys sometimes talk about the price you say at the when you have the practice?
Oh yeah, we do.
Every morning.
Kev checks it. Kev always. I always ask him to check it, and sometimes if I'm done first, I'm on my phone, and he's like, "Lucky," I'm like, "We good, we good." We always like get eye contact, even if we're far from the locker room. Wow, we always like communicating.
Nice, nice.
Morning.
Kev, how about you? What?
Yeah, well, for me, just the same as Lucky, like being international, you know, you have a different perspective, especially because the countries where we're from originally, uh, it's a different environment than we live here in America. You know, a lot of people, in my case, in Mexico or in South America, a lot of people they struggle with the government, with dictatorship, or just the system. You know, and and I think when I first heard about Bitcoin, it was I think it was like 2018, 2007, late 2017. I don't remember very well. Uh, I had a roomie in college, and he was really into Bitcoin, and he wanted to. I think he wanted to make a purchase or something in Bitcoin, but he was like, "No, it's down. I can make the purchase right now." But I was like, "Well, I don't know what he's talking about, you know." And I was never really interested in wanting to know, you know. That was the first time I heard about Bitcoin, and then when I really get into Bitcoin, was actually it was during the lockdown when I was like, you know, I had so much time to kill, so I was like, okay, I'm just gonna see what pops on YouTube and stuff like that, and then I start listening to people like, just like the experts. A lot of I think Anthony Pompliano, he was the first one that I heard.
He's a big name. Yeah, he's got a lot of followers.
Yeah, and I think he has like an episode where he just wants to explain what's Bitcoin. You know, like he wants to make it easier for people. And I listened to it, and I was like, well, that makes so much sense. You know, and I started digging more and just going to the rabbit hole, you know, like everyone says. So I mean, for me, everything makes sense, you know, like the especially because it's backed by math, you know, and it's a protocol that you can change. Uh, there's a lot of good things about it, and I think I'm very bullish. Just like Lucky said, we're very early, but uh, I think that's gonna be huge in the next coming years, like a real big technology.
Uh,
Yeah,
I love these
I'm
stories. Yeah,
ready.
Poppy, I put your sound back on in case
Yeah, thanks.
you want to say something where you're on mute. Just put your hand up. I'll put your sound on immediately. Yeah. Okay. You go. You go.
um, part of my job, I help do crisis planning around the world for Mecca embassies and consulates. So I've traveled over 90 countries, and the best part about it is, man, you talk about something that'll bring you to Bitcoin. Is you start to understand the different areas of the world and the needs that Bitcoin fulfills. Bitcoin in the US means many things for many people. For me, it was like, wow, you mean I have an asset class that's unconfiscatable that I can have on my own? Whereas for others, it's, listen, our, our currency is being devalued so much, we will take anything right now just to hold some value. Look at Venezuela, as we talk about often. Zimbabwe, as you know, Lucky well knows, the currency just goes to nothing. So I love the fact with my travels, it brought me to Bitcoin in a way because I could see this is an answer for many problems. It solves every part of the world has different problems, but Bitcoin solves all of them. It's amazing.
It
Yeah,
is really real amazing.
that's,
Just like you
that's
said, like go ahead, like
yeah, it's just crazy to me that I just feel like in the U.S., in the U.S. they haven't really faced something like Zimbabwe has faced. Obviously because the dollar is the reserve currency. And for it to have like hyperinflation is gonna take a while. But with the money printing, obviously those people that are at the bottom are affected in the short term, but in the long run, that's when you're gonna start seeing like price increases and stuff like how it happened in Zimbabwe, And here is tough because people are comfortable with stocks, People are comfortable with like their bonds. Obviously, they're probably like big stacks in there. So for you to come and say like, yo, this Bitcoin, like, for them, it's hard for them to get out of that box, yeah, and try something they've never heard of, while they've been living lavishly with the stocks and stuff and investing in the traditional market. And I just feel like with time, I feel like this, like Kev was saying, the lockdown really opened a lot of people's eyes. Like you have time on your hand and you listen to podcasts, and there's hours of podcasts you invest in. For example, I'm like cooking. I have my earphones on. I'm listening to like by 10. I have listened to like maybe like 4 hours of podcasts. By 11, I'm like, wow, why didn't I do this like 2 years ago? There's so much knowledge you just like put in, just like you're doing multitasking, like you're listening to stuff. And for me, that's how I really fast track my knowledge with the podcast. Even when I'm driving to practice, I don't listen like to music. Like sometimes when I have people, I try to leave the podcast on, but I see that no, this is something weird for them, and I put the music. Then it's just like, yeah, they feel more comfortable.
Right.
You know, I'll
Go
probably
ahead,
jump in
Pablo.
real quick on that. I'll tell you what. Some countries, of course, they're very bad at hiding hyperinflation. They're very bad at hiding it, and it comes out early. Unfortunately, in America, we're very good at hiding it. They hide this inflation for years and years and years, and they'll tell you that it's 2%, but all the while we know it's closer to 20%, as Michael Saylor will undoubtedly tell you. So they hide behind this 2% number. We know it's closer to 20%. And what you don't see is the shrinkflation, the products getting and services getting smaller and smaller for your money. So in a way, you're lucky in some of those countries where the hyperinflation was just out in front, because now you can find Bitcoin. You go to Bitcoin early. It'll take longer for most Americans because we're swimming in it. We've been, since we got taken off the gold standard in '71, we're swimming in this sea of fiat, and we don't even realize it yet. Well, most don't. Most don't that don't travel or do their own research. So in a way, I love the fact that there's many countries that before were last will now become first. The ones that you thought would never have a chance are going to be the ones at the forefront of this revolution. I love it.
Yes, because the need for a sound money is even bigger in some of the financially worse places today where they have
Yeah.
hyperinflation and everything, even on a state level where you have the countries that are sanctioned by US and the Western community. So
Yeah.
they need Bitcoin to be able to do transactions because all fiat currency based transactions are banned. Kev, I just want to say, so the time that you chose to dive into Bitcoin during the lockdown, you couldn't have chosen pretty much a better timing price-wise.
Yeah.
You've been stacking some cheap sats, man.
Yeah, I mean, it was a time for me, I guess. Like uh, for some reason, that was my time, and I decided to open my mind to it. Maybe before I wasn't ready for it, but I mean, for me, it's a great time to be alive, especially because I studied international business, so I'm fascinated with all the macroeconomics and microeconomics, everything that goes around it. I'm just like, man, this makes so much sense and really can change the world. Not only one country, like it can change the whole world.
Absolutely.
Hey, I got to jump in on this one, man, because
Of
yeah, with the
course.
macro. But I mean, how old are you now? Like 25, 26?
26.
20, dude, can you imagine having Bitcoin in front of you at 26? I mean, my God, it's absolutely amazing. And I'm laughing because the one person that had put me in touch with Lucky was Daniel Prince, who's going to be on the show on Monday, by the way. On Monday, you got to check him out. But he had a guy. He brings on like some of the best guests, and by best guests, I mean they're not necessarily old school. Like I bought Bitcoin at $100. He has people that from all walks of life had discovered this, and he had a guy who's he's like 58 years old and discovers it, and this guy was, man, where was this thing all my life? Where was it? I wish I could have had this. So enjoy the time now at 26, because my God, your future is bright, my friend. Your future is bright.
As I keep telling people, imagine being alive at during the 2 decades that one new money come disrupts all money in the world, and is the best money and becomes the only money. Last time this happened was gold, which was before the Roman Empire. That was the last time we saw a new and better money, and that has ruled through all the different huge empires we've known. Now Bitcoin has come, and the last decade that just passed was the introduction. Here in the 20s, we're going to hit the nail in the coffin of fiat currency, I'm sure of. So it's just being alive and watching this. This is not a once in a lifetime. It's not once in a century. It's not even once in a millennia. Last time was 3 millennia ago. Kev, I want to hear, well, both of you. You guys both are expats here, like I am kind of. You have families back home. Do you use Bitcoin for international transmittance, like sending money to family or friends or something? Or
you go, Kevin. You go.
Yeah, that was the IRS asking that question, by the way.
Yeah, don't give us numbers. Don't give us.
What was that?
Yeah, well, I don't use it for that.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I don't use Bitcoin to send to my family. Like I can send it through. Well, before I used to send it to the bank account, but now that you know about Bitcoin, you can send really quickly, and I mean that really changed for us, because like sometimes the bank, they just charge you like $50-$60 just because you want to send maybe $1,000, and that doesn't make sense.
Right, and for me, so I have some clients also in Denmark, and because of all this fear of money laundering, even though I'm just a small player, self-employed, they in Denmark said, oh, wait, you live in US, we're just going to close down your account. So now I have to receive money from clients in Denmark through PayPal, and they're taking a huge fee every time I get paid. It's just monstrous. So I can't wait for the world to get on Bitcoin. Do you guys have any expectations? I mean, do you believe we are in a bull run currently? If yes, what do you see? What are your expectations, if you have any, for where we're going to go price-wise?
Well, the happening just happened, and the happening. I know there's like controversy on that, but I feel like for me, I'm in it for, I know obviously 2021 is going to be big, I think as for price-wise, I don't want to, I'm sure I don't want to be too high, too conservative, but I'm sure by the end of 2021, at least 90K, at least. That's my price prediction.
Hey, listen, if you had that kind of attitude, I'm not putting you in the final 5 for my PKs, my friend. I want everyone that's going to take the final 5 shots is going to be 200,000 or nothing.
It's got to be some confidence there. It's got to be some confidence. Are you expecting to make only 5x in 1 year? Come on, that's only 40%. I'm kidding. I just want to say that Marcus, once again, as you can see, I throw the chat up on the screen, has come through. He's saved us. He saw that iOS was brought up, and he managed to knock their attention away and distract them with finding the red balloon once again, I think for the fourth or the fifth live stream in a row. So thank you, Marcus, for just distracting anyone with interest in iOS right there. I'm saying that as a joke. No one here is doing anything we're not allowed to. Everybody follows the rules. So
only if
Kev,
only if you sell.
yeah. Only then is it a taxable event. Kev, what are your expectations to this prize run?
For me, honestly, I'm very bullish. I think after seeing all the people that is coming into the, like they're trying to adopt Bitcoin, just the institutions and the financial investors, they're I think they're adopting it too, and I think by the end of 2021, I'm expecting it to go 300.
I'm talking about.
I like that.
Yeah.
So you say 300. What by end of next year is like you're thinking?
Yeah.
All right. So, which makes it relevant. So, since you now will be allowed to take the final penalty kicks, with that, Lucky, we're just giving you a hard time here, but
I know.
So I think you'll be in that. You'll be in that.
I know, guy.
Yeah. Kev, you will be in that last five. So now, as the co-coach with Publord here, I want to know which positions do you guys actually play on the field?
No.
I'm a forward.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'm an attacking midfielder, so
yeah.
I'm supposed to give him the passes, but he does everything. He does everything.
He passes me all the time.
Yeah.
I stake for both of us.
I love it. So
I was going to say that the Tampa Bay Rowdies had such a great run this year to the finals, and I was overseas and it's been fantastic with this Bitcoin journey. Is I wake up in the middle of the night to find out a score, and all I see, Lucky with the game winner, Lucky with the game winner, off the head always, man. So I'm laughing because I'm laughing because hey man, the secret to this team, just feed Lucky, let him eat.
What kind of goal average are we talking about for you, Lucky? How many goals on average do you score per game? 0 point. How much?
Well, this year it's been tough because we didn't really play the entire games, and I was injured for maybe I missed 5 games. And the coach chooses to use me tactically off the bench too. So minutes wise, I would say my goal average is better with my compared to my time. Every time I try to go in, I score.
And what was it like then, your goaling average when you weren't injured?
I'll say 0.68, 0.7.
Whoa!
I would try to every other game not to go 2 games without scoring at least. That's my mentality.
Hey, I'll tell you what. At the end of the day, when you added up the super sub coming off the bench and putting a goal in with only 12 minutes, 20 minutes left to go in a game, he was probably averaging 5 goals a game.
Nice. Nice. Love it. So, Kev, it does happen occasionally that midfielders score some goals as well. They are supposed to score a little bit. Like, what's your goal scoring average?
This year I didn't score a goal, unfortunately.
You don't, or?
I didn't score that goal this year.
Okay, but you're playing the games, right?
Yeah, some of the games.
Okay, but I guess so we have a striker back in Brøndby as well as Simon Hedlund from Sweden, who's a really talented guy, and he doesn't, even though he's striker, he doesn't score many goals, but for the entire league, the Super League in Denmark, he has by far the most assists. So that's what he's really, succeeding in, and that's where he's really adding value, is like just a ton of assists, setting up the goal scores. So you're knocking it in on assist maybe, or?
No. I didn't play as much this year, so I didn't have the chance to give an assist either.
But you've been injured as well, or?
No.
But you played, right, or?
Yeah, I played some of the games. Usually, I came off the bench.
Right. Oh, you're still young. He's
Yeah,
26.
Kevin said he's the master of assist. He's the master of assist, but he didn't get to play that much this season. But
Right.
every
But
time in practice, he gives me all the balls to score. You know, like he always combine well in
We
practice.
understand each other very well. Like especially after we talk a lot about Bitcoin. I don't know if it's like just coincidence or not, but when we started talking about Bitcoin, we understand each other more in the field.
yeah, I think that's gonna give you guys some universal energy right there. And it just, with other Bitcoiners, you just reach another level of understanding, because all of a sudden you see these really, really deep and important issues in society that you're on the same page as someone else, and it just gives that special bond. And so hopefully that's it's what Bitcoin is doing for you guys, that you're getting that connection.
If you ever watch the Rowdies game live, they got lucky on the field. They got the camera, and you see he's always got these angry looks towards the bench, because he knows he's out there, laying it on the line, and these guys are stacking sats. They're just stacking sats on the sideline during the game, man. Every 10 minutes, just buying Bitcoin, and he's stuck on the field trying to score goals.
So it's actually it turns out it actually cost Kev and Lucky a lot of money to be playing the game, because they can't be stacking sats during that same time. They
90
can't buy the
minutes.
tips.
90 minutes is a long time in Bitcoin, man. 90 minutes is a long time.
I have a question. If I come to Tampa, will you guys be able to somehow get me access to watch the game?
Of course.
Of course. Yeah.
We'll give you VIP tickets, right, Kevin?
VIP.
Wait,
Whoa,
yeah.
Okay, that's it.
Hey, not only that, well, we have the bet already about the retracement and pullback on the next bull run. You guys have seen in our group, Greg Zaj also, he's just down an hour and a half south of where I am in Tampa as well. But we're going to Burn Steakhouse anyway. But yeah, we got to do it. We got to do a full game outing, man. Go out, catch a game, then catch a Burn Steakhouse night.
I will come down just to hang out with you guys at Burns. I'm sure we can do some kind of bet, Publord, where you'll be having to pay for my expensive Burns meat.
Ernest, we didn't hear your prediction, Ernest. What's your prediction?
For Bitcoin. So I believe that I'm just going to take your sound off for a second, Pablo. Just wave when you want. I'll put it back on. But my expectations is that the bull run will take longer, because each time they have taken longer, because that reduction of inflation rate, which is still happening very fast, is not as fast, as steep as it was early on. The acceleration of stock to flow, which really is how fast inflation goes down, is a little bit slower, still very fast. So what I'm saying is that's the reason that bull runs have been getting longer, but also a little bit less steep. So for that reason, I've been saying this bull run will be more than the 18 months that the previous one did, from halving to December 17 top. So I'm expecting us to go into probably Q1 of 2022. And then I've been saying less steep, but then yesterday, Plan B tweeted out a graph showing how and I'll bring that up, because it's in my I tweeted about it, how the price now is not going up less steep than 2016-17. It actually going up a little bit faster, and I still expect it to be longer. So if you combine that, and I think the reason it's going up actually a little bit faster is this fiat currency collapse that is impending. It's guys like Michael Saylor finding out that, hey, fiat currency on the balance sheet is just a melting ice cube of value that is disappearing. So we're seeing people coming in to Bitcoin now on a professional level, on a company level, faster because it's just even more clear that fiat currency is collapsing. The same reason that stocks and real estate have been going up, even though people have been losing jobs and economy has been going down, they have still gone up simply because this amount of money printing right now is causing, as a minimum, maybe not consumer price inflation yet, but as Publord was talking about the 20% inflation, I think that's what we're seeing in assets. And Bitcoin definitely is an asset. It's an asset built to to hedge against money printing, because you can't print it at all. You can't have a harder, more sound money than one that is 100% capped. Which brings me to say, back to your question, I still believe the top will be not before 2022, probably Q1 or the first half of 2022. And yesterday, I changed my target from being in the ballpark of 240 to I'm quite confident we're going above 300 now. And honestly, at the same time, I would say that the risk of fiat currency collapse, which I the entire time have been saying most likely to happen in the next bull run, which will peak out in 2026 with hyper Bitcoinization, hyperinflation. I've been saying fiat currency will collapse in 2026. We'll see bank runs like never before because people will want to get into Bitcoin ASAP because they can just see fiat just like it's like a burning turd in your hands, just losing value, being like uncomfortable. You got to get rid of that. You got to get to Bitcoin being sound. But I'm saying that the risk of fiat currency collapse in this cycle, means maybe 2022, 23, has gone, in my opinion, from 15% risk of fiat currency collapse to 25%. So that means I may lose a bet with Publord because we may not get that bear market that I have been expecting. I still think it is quite likely, but I would say it's less likely now. It's we're going above 300,000 and will be in 2022. But fiat currency collapse is on the table, more evident now than ever. And the total end game target for me is from here. I know I've been saying 2000x potential for Bitcoin. I have to say, I'm so sorry. I said that 2 months ago now. Now I have to reduce it to 1000x because Bitcoin in the meantime has gone from 10,000 to 20,000. So from here to that $20 million target, which I haven't changed, there's now only 1000x. Wow. And I'll breathe. I'll breathe now.
Wow.
Yeah, I'll jump in.
Good analysis.
No, so listen.
Poppy, before you jump in, does that mean I get to take a shot at goal as well? Am I in the final fine for the penalty shootout?
You're working your way in there. You're working your way back. No, listen. 2020 has changed the world on many levels. Pandemic aside, Michael Saylor brought up a use case for Bitcoin that changed the Bitcoin world, and nobody gives him enough credit for doing it. Because in his mind, he will buy and he's not going to sell for 100 years. Yes, I know that sounds ridiculous, but it really isn't. He will have that in his company as a store of value. To him, it's not a currency. I find this fascinating because on the one side, you have like something like Bitcoin Cash and Roger Ver, who jumped the gun. We need this as a currency. We never had a currency problem. I can always go out with a credit card. I can always buy something. We always had a store value problem in this world. And Bitcoin is the answer to that. And what you're going to find are companies that you buy it and you hold it. You can take loans against it. That's what Saylor would recommend. It's like buying land. I consider Bitcoin land more than I consider it gold, to be honest with you. It's land that you hold and you leverage your holdings. So for me, yeah, and I'm right in line actually with what Kevin's talking about. I think fall next year we're hitting 100,000. At that point, man, I mean, everything's off the table. 200,000 by the early 2022, 200,000, 300,000 by summer 20. Yeah, 300,000.
So I'm saying 300,000 before you. I think we're talking before summer 2022. But let's see. We'll see.
Did I say summer? I meant spring.
Okay. You can get to take a penalty shootout as well.
Good predictions.
Guys, I just want to say when we have the best chat in the space, as we say, we have like super entertaining, fun, smart guys in the chat. I bring up the chat sometimes on the screen. I'm doing it faster now to take it off, and I'm doing it less because otherwise it's going right over Kevin's beautiful face, and we don't want to do that. So that's why I'm not putting the chat up so much, because Kevin is in the down left of the screen here. So yeah.
So, Kevin, did you hear did you hear about Bitcoin from Lucky, or did you already known about it and you guys found out together that you had Bitcoin?
Actually, I don't remember who I asked in the team who was into Bitcoin, and they pointed me to Lucky. So one day we were just finishing practice and we were stretching, and I mentioned to them like I wanted to start talking about Bitcoin, and I guess he was surprised because I knew more than he expected. I was like, hey, what about Ethereum? What about XRP and all the main cryptocurrencies? And he was like, dang, you know what is cryptocurrency, you know? But obviously, Lucky is the one that really told me like, hey, listen to this guy or pay attention to this other, token or crypto, whatever. So I was like, okay. He was like kind of like my guru.
Yeah. That's all. So wait, there's a third guy on your team. Was it Yana? That's also a Bitcoiner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's three of you. That's cool. So you guys have your own little workout 3-on-3 team.
We have our own group chat. Group chat.
But the funny thing is, Lucky, he was like, just wait until the end of the season, Papa, and then the guys that are into stocks, they're going to come to Bitcoin, and that's what happened, right? Like a lot of the guys were like, man, how can I buy Bitcoin now? You know, because they saw that the price was going up.
Yes.
There's a few guys that were asking actually in the team.
So when they're saying when they're asking and like what's the potential and how high will it go, just remember from me it's a very round number. It's very easy. 1,000x this decade. So that should be easy to remember. Just 1,000x from here. $20 million per Bitcoin.
Okay.
So I'm not very smart at math, but I like to do it like this. I think about a couple years ago, you throw away that blow off top at 20,000. When you look at the average, it's about 10,000 for the last year or so, up or down. Before that was only 1,000. Basically, every 4 years, just add a zero to the end. This next run will be the 100,000 run. It may jump to 200, 300.
Oh yeah, see, you're forgetting something there. Poppy the bear. You're forgetting something. It's not. It's one zero. It's only multiple 10. It's actually like usually multiple 20 each time. Like so, the last high of 1,000 went to 20,000, and 400 is on the table now. Well, in fact, impending dollar global reserve fiat currency collapse is on the table.
We're not coming back, man. It's escape velocity. It's escape velocity right now on this next run, because every corporation in the world, every country in the world is going to be too scared not to buy.
Right.
Okay? They could be scared. They could be scared at 10,000. At 100,000, you've got 12 years of history. They're too scared to not try it.
Right. So I just want to say from MG Smith 4, he's saying Publord to be the Rowdies' main shirt sponsor next year. So my question is, Publord, are you going to put Bitcoin on the Tampa shirts, or the Rowdy shirts, or will you put logos from the pop empire that you happen to own and been very secretive about so far?
Hey, for the Rowdies. Here's the great thing about the Rowdies, man. When I was a kid in the 70s, I remember the original Rowdies, and it kept the colors. A lot of people notice those green and yellow stripes that people may think are obnoxious, I think are beautiful. I mean, it takes you back to old times and in the Tampa, St. Pete area. A lot of families that had gone there through generations. So yeah, I think it's beautiful. I wouldn't sully that uniform up with anything less. A Bitcoin logo would be perfect, understated, of course. Perhaps, or hell, maybe I just buy the Rowdies. And yeah, Kevin, you got a full-time job, of course. Lucky's a coach, as you know.
So one thing, this is a very relevant question actually. In Denmark, we don't have cheerleaders at football. But
they don't hear.
you don't have cheerleaders here either.
Well, not for soccer, not for American soccer. No. Yeah.
Football, Publord. It's called football.
Yes, I know. I'm thinking to the American audience.
Right, yeah.
Because we have football cheerleaders, of course. I want to let them know soccer. There's no soccer cheerleaders.
Right. Yeah, I got you. I just, I give you a hard time whenever I can. You know that.
Hey, I do. I get everyone that is surprised when they talk to me or DM me. What do you mean? What do you mean you're not in the UK? Where are you from?
So Labra.hodl, one of our main dudes, meme monsters surrounding the Toxic Happy Hour. He's been on earlier as well. He's saying this bull run will be like Gonzalo Higuain shooting a penalty. Lol. So can you guys tell me what will that be like? Is that good or bad?
He's going to the moon. He's going straight to the moon. He's not coming back.
Awesome.
It's like, hey, that reminds me. Yeah, in '94 we had the World Cup in the U.S., but I believe that was the final with Italy with Roberto Baggio over the top. Yeah, remember Baggio?
Yeah.
Yeah, great player. Yeah. And then, hey, if you ever want to have some good interaction on Twitter, I can recommend this. Is just put out your starting 11 all time and watch the fireworks go, because man, there's no pleasing anyone at that point. Put out your top 11 all time. I did it once, and boy, I'm getting hate mail.
Yeah.
Oh,
you get death threats.
What is starting 11?
Oh, listen, in the back, I had Paolo Maldini in the back with who was his partner at the time?
Nesta.
Yeah. Jesus, I had I went
on pitch or off pitch. Just kidding.
On pitch. Yeah. No, on pitch. Let's see, Paolo Maldini. Man, I was putting people on there that Zidane. Zidane's one of my favorite players of all time. Just a class player, solid. Let's go back to Germany, or actually the Netherlands. Johan Cruyff, I thought, was quite good. I'm talking about guys that changed the game, revolutionized the game. Not that they could compete today. It's a different style of play, But man, it's hilarious. You put out a couple things like this, and I have one guy comes back, and basically his entire team is Italian, because no one else other than Italians can play football, apparently.
Puppy, do you remember this guy, Michael Laudrup, that won, I think it was 4 consecutive titles with Barcelona? And then Johan Cruyff, that you just mentioned, put Michael Laudrup on the coach, and everyone was like, why do you do that? And Michael Laudrup was also like, why do you do that? I don't want to be on the bench. So he changed to Real Madrid, which is the illegal switch between those two arch enemies. But everyone could understand him, because if you don't get to play, it's fair enough that as a player you want to play. So he went to Real Madrid and won the title there the first year he was there. So he brought the title with him from Barcelona to Real Madrid.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So are you guys ready to hear who I put up there?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, ready.
All right. Hey, so starting from the back, man, this guy was a living legend in the 50s. Everybody was scared of him as a goalkeeper. We got the Russian, Lev Yashin, I put in. Lev Yashin, he defined the position for many years. Yeah. So my defenders.
Did you just say DeFi or what did you say? Oh, define.
Defined. Yes, defined.
Because you can be muted immediately if you say DeFi.
No, man.
And that's
So
too funny, man.
no. So yeah. So yeah, I put this out there. Okay, here we go. We're going to be an offensive team. So I only wanted 3 defenders. So I got Paolo Maldini, Franz Beckenbauer, and Franco Baresi. Okay, that's it. Midfielders: Johan Cruyff, Zidane, Diego Maradona, and Socrates, baby. Because you can need that 1970s Brazilian flair with Socrates.
How about Pelé?
Whoa,
Pelé.
whoa.
You're not
Pelé,
done? Okay.
I'm not done. Yeah. I got Lionel Messi, Brazilian Ronaldo,
Ooh.
Brazilian Ronaldo, and I know you guys may not remember this player, but he was a classic. Marco van Basten.
Oh.
Ooh, I remember.
I mean,
A class act.
three balloon oars, and taken away by the age of 28, 29. Okay. Yeah, amazing finisher. And Pele was first off the bench. So, yeah.
You brain well done. That's a good 11, to be honest. That's a really good 11.
It's what's difficult about it is most people. I mean, today you could probably find a starting 11 that could beat them easily. But at the time, these players were at the forefront of their game. They're the ones that took it up that next level. They're the ones that were so far above and beyond what was before them.
Yeah.
You know, as we say, you stand on the shoulders of giants sometimes. So I just try to go back. I find players that defined each era that I wanted to start.
We have a question from the chat Laprahotl who's asking who is Kev's and Lucky favorite players of all time.
Oof. For me, the Brazilian Ronaldo.
Yeah, he was amazing.
Wait, which Ronaldo?
Brazilian Ronaldo, original Ronaldo.
Oh, the one that I chose, right? Yeah.
Original, yeah.
Unstoppable.
Yeah.
What about you, Kev?
For me, I gotta say Messi.
No,
I know there's a lot of good players, but Messi, man, he has something different.
And he's an offensive midfielder like yourself.
Yeah, this is my position, so that might be yeah.
Right.
So here's a good Barcelona story. So I'm in Barcelona, and you're going on. They got the red bus and the blue bus tours that you go around the city. You can see the architecture by Gaudi. You do all of this. The entire bus tour, all the husbands are bored to death. All the women taking pictures until they pull up and they say, "Oh, this is Barcelona training grounds." All the men stand up and start taking pictures.
What?
Yeah, this is where Messi plays. Yeah.
Kev and Lucky, I'm just wondering. So you're 3 guys into Bitcoin in the club. When you tell other people that you care about, be it other teammates, friends, and family, and you have this passion for Bitcoin, what's the kind of response that you're getting these days?
You go, Kev.
I mean, in the team, like whoever wants to come and ask me about Bitcoin, I'll respond, and I give my best argument. And my other friends outside of the team, they're kind of like they're not believers, like they think that it's gonna go to zero. It doesn't have a value, but mainly because they don't know what really is about, but I'm sure that if they go more into it, they'll be like, okay, that makes sense,
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm with you, Kev, there. I think it's hard for people to actually grasp the fundamental importance of this thing, and just the media too, is to blame, because it's and who these traditional finance investors, people follow those older people, who invest in those traditional markets. So if you tell them about this new asset class, and for them it's like, this happened, it's gonna drop down to zero. They think it's just like for criminals. Like, you are a hacker. Like, what are all these numbers on your phone? What's going on? But it's hard. It's hard because this is the first time ever in our lives. The monetary system is gonna change, and it's hard for just a person to believe that, like, this is what they believe their entire life. I think people are just lazy to read and research more. And they just want things to be just given to them. Okay, here's how you do it, here's how you do it. But, like, time is money. I feel like people need to invest their time and just read about, like, for example, I sent my friend the Mkosana, like, just and recommend this book. I'm sure if you read it, but I'm sure a lot of them didn't read it, because it's just reading an entire book. Some people they don't have it.
Right.
It's interesting that, especially being from Zimbabwe, or I'm not sure, from your team, I imagine probably from at least 7 or 8 countries. We have to read the Bitcoin standard in America, because we don't understand true currency until it, like, punches you in the face.
Mm-hmm.
You see, that's why you need a Bitcoin standard. You don't need the Bitcoin standard. Many countries don't need the Bitcoin standard because they've been punched in the face with hyperinflation. Okay, so you guys, you understand the Bitcoin standard without ever having to read it. Yeah, I got it. You're like reading through it. Yeah. I've lived this. I've lived this. So that's why I know Bitcoin.
Yeah.
So, so where do you go now? So, for example, Kevin, we were talking before about where you were when you first bought Bitcoin, and you're trying to guess your price range. I know my price range because I'm the guy that bought the absolute top in December 2017.
You FOMO.
Literally, like my second purchase, my first purchase was like 16,000. So my second purchase, and I keep it pinned to a wall here, was $17,621.15. And it's been 3 years of buying, holding, believing, sweating, dreaming, crying, anything you want to believe, I was doing it. And I'm back up, man. I'm back up finally. We're back up to there. So I've been, as I say, through the shadow of the valley of death, man, and I'm back here to tell you, Bitcoin is here to stay, my friend. So you're in a great spot to come in at the time you did, for sure.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, what a great timing. So I noticed that we actually got one full dislike on this video, and I just think it's probably this thing about putting up a lineup, and you used to get death threats, Publord, and I'm sure if somebody is not happy with the players that you lined up, it's like dislike this video.
Hey, I try to keep it, from different time, different eras around the world. Michel Platini or Platini, I left off to the side. I'll tell you what, Didier Drogba is one of my favorite. Let's go to some African guys, man. Michael Essien, another classic player, just brilliant. Man, there's so many great footballers of all time.
Yeah, there's so many good players that.
Yeah. Hey, I remember I grew up. Hey, for you, Ken, just when I grew up watching always the U.S.-Mexico matches. Of course, we have a bit of animosity between us. But do you remember before you were born? Do you remember Jorge Campos, your goalkeeper?
Yeah.
Somehow he was like 1 meter and 1.5 meters tall, and could save everything inside of a penalty. The guy was so small and somehow would get to every corner and every shot. He was amazing.
Yeah, he was amazing. He used to play as a forward as well.
Yes, as well. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
remember him at the end of a match. It would bring him up out of the goal.
He's one of the legends in Mexico. Everyone knows.
Yeah.
Everyone
And
knows
Blanco, him and Blanco.
Cuauhtemoc. Yeah.
Yeah.
You
He's
know,
also
he's a governor right now in Mexico.
really
Yeah.
no idea.
Yeah, he's a governor, and you know, like a lot of people, there's like just because he was a footballer and he was a legend, like
Yeah.
maybe that was the reason why people they were like,
Got
yeah,
the-
just put him as a governor.
Put
And
him on-
I wouldn't be surprised if he runs for presidency. Sometime soon.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's hard to assassinate a living legend as a footballer and a governor at that
Yeah.
point.
Yeah,
Probably a good choice.
yeah, that's right.
It's nice to see, Publord. You're actually up from that first very expensive buy where you managed to get in right at the top in 2017. You're up like $1,100 on that. Congratulations.
Well, for that one, yes. But I'll tell you what. You know what's interesting with Bitcoin? What I learned along the way is, on the way down, I just kept buying, dollar cost averaging. When it got down under 4,000, I'm looking around. There's nobody. Hell, we couldn't find 4 people to fill a room like this that were buying Bitcoin.
Yeah.
But I had nothing to lose, so I just kept buying on the way back up too. So the advantage then was you got nothing to lose. You just keep buying and holding, and when you understood it or you got Bitcoin, you just kept going. So now I got when I'm buying 18,000, I know it's going to 100,000. Why not?
Yeah.
So sometimes when you start at the top, it's better. So Kevin, that's a word of warning to you, because when you start at 5,000, 6,000, 7,000, when you see a pullback down, you're more afraid to keep dollar cost averaging. Don't be. Just keep adding to your stack. That's it.
I think it's Lucky you have to tell this, because Kev, he's saying 300,000, but Lucky is still working with his 5-digit realm of 90,000. I think you got to tell Lucky that it actually has a future.
Good looks, Landers. Good looks.
Hey, man, Publord, I really thank you for introducing me to these great guys, Kevin and Lucky. I will come to Tampa, Florida, and watch you guys play ball. Publord, you keep me in the loop of when there's gonna be some interesting games. When does the next season start?
Yeah, well, I got a question on that first. Was what the hell happened to the final? You make a final and they just cancel a season?
I know, right? Can you even believe it?
Yeah,
It was unfortunate it happened, but it happened.
So tell us about that. You guys made it to that. Is that the Eastern League sort of final? Who are you playing final against? Like west side of US or?
Yeah, it was gonna be the East against the West.
You won the East.
We won the East. Yeah, we won the East. So they ended up saying no championship game. You're gonna be the winners of the East, and there's gonna be winners of the West. And they just didn't want put everyone in risk, I guess, with the virus and everything. But for next year, they'll see if we're gonna start. They're trying to figure that out yet with the virus going on too. So we might start later than normal. Next year.
So what does that mean? Like, when would you normally start the season, the next season, and when do you expect it to start?
We don't know yet, but it's gonna be. It's not gonna be in January 15 like we normally start preseason. It might be a little bit later, maybe March, preseason, and then it'll probably go longer until like November or something. Yeah.
Right. Got it.
So do you think you'll both be back with the Rowdies next year, or do you have other teams or interests perhaps? Look, I know the realities of football, man. I get it. So
Yeah.
Look,
would love to see you both here.
I heard Kevin mention Barcelona early on. I don't know.
Yeah.
Is that what we're
Yeah.
talking about, Kevin?
I mean, I would love to go to Barcelona. You know.
You know, Kevin's nickname within the locker room is Lil Messi. They call him Lil Messi. That's all.
I like it.
I'm sad because he might leave. He might go to Manchester City. You know.
Yeah. Well, hey,
Whoa, who?
he's
Someone from
given
your
it.
team?
Leo,
No, Messi.
Leo
Messi.
Messi.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, look. Let's be honest. He's given his entire life there. What time did he start at the academy? 9 years old.
Yeah,
Something.
yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you ever watched some of the Barcelona videos of those teams at that time? Were ridiculous. The youth teams are just crazy, crazy
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, he plays the same way. Like he was just like he grew up a little bit and that's it. But he has the talent.
One of the things I found, and of course my career ended before it started. What I mean is this: one of the things one of my favorite qualities in a player is always, I call it anticipation. I love the anticipation. It's the guy that sees the ball in the air or he's in the open space at the right location. You're always anticipating where the ball will be. That's the
Mhm.
best quality because it makes people that may be smaller, slower, that don't get it yet, but the ones that have that quality of anticipation, of knowing where the ball will be and where they should be, that is what elevates you from good to great.
That's true.
You talking about Lucky?
Hey, I'll tell you this.
Yeah.
Like I say, hey, I wake up in the middle of the night. Let me look at Rowdy's highlights. Oh, there's Lucky again. Lucky again to be at the right space at the right time for the game-winning header
You guys
what
are
every
kind of
time.
what kind of crowd do you have? How many? What's this capacity at your stadium? And how many people usually come to your games?
um without before the virus. It's not a lot. It's not like England, or it's not like 50,000 fans. No, like, and eight, nine k. It is packed, and
8, 9, 1,000?
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's not like big crowd or anything, but the stadium is really like, it feels like it's packed because it's like less seats. So it's a really good atmosphere.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a bit like I think the average in the Danish main league, the Super League. I think the average per game probably is maybe even a little bit less. Brøndby being the club with the most fans in the country. Before COVID, we used to average maybe around 14, 15,000. But anytime we play the guys that we beat 5-0 here, it's a full stadium. It's full stadium. And the tifos that we have, like, around the whole stadium, sometimes they have all this like artwork and like things coming down. And so FC Copenhagen is their mascot is lion. They call themselves the Lions. And in one of these games they had this amazing tifo where on our stadium there was this gladiator who came up, and then had in one hand he had his knife, on the other hand he had the lion's head with blood dripping down. This is the kind of teasing and hate relationship you have, but at the same time entertaining. It's for the sports as well,
Yeah.
Follow the show.
for the show. And this is all, it's coming from the fans. All of this is fan initiated. They have this group, a tifo group, that you can support them with money, because they spend like up towards 80, $100,000 sometimes on one tifo for one game that is lasting 1 or 2 minutes. They spend this amount of money, but it's supported by the fans, because it gives that extra spectacle. And they have also done the same to us, like humiliating stuff about shooting like old school cannons and our stadium burns down in their tifo. But of course, One Piece tifos are the best.
Nice.
Do you guys have stuff like that? Like your crowd, are they doing something? Are they do they play music? Like, do they have drums, or are they doing songs?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they do all that. Yeah,
Cool.
they're fantastic.
Yeah.
They're always supporting.
Awesome. So, Publord, when the season starts up sometime next year, I don't know, spring or something,
Yep.
send your non-public jet to pick me up, and I'll come down and watch a couple of games.
Well, yeah. Well, it's all work related, of course.
Yeah, I know.
But yeah, no, looking forward to the staying there. But yeah, I know I had a hard cap here, an hour and a half. I know some of the guys got things to do, so I'm thinking we'll wrap it up with like maybe some final thoughts on Bitcoin, football, whatever they want to talk about.
Take it away, guys. Final thoughts, and
Yeah, well, it was a pleasure, obviously, to talk with you guys and to see your faces. And good time talking about Bitcoin, and just the message, just keep stacking sets for the people who are listening, and for the people who are going to get a chance to listen to this, and just take off your health too. Don't forget that, because you're gonna enjoy more when you're healthy with the money you're gonna have in the future. That's my advice.
amen to that.
Man, I had so much fun talking to you guys. It was a pleasure for me to get to know you and just chat a little bit about everything, about football, about Bitcoin, and I am very bullish for Bitcoin, and I think just people need some hope. Like they just need to believe in and just know it's a community right now, and just believe in the network and the algorithm, and hopefully in some years the world is gonna change.
Hopefully, we can meet one day together and have this live in person.
I'm looking forward to spend some time with you in the future, and definitely next year I really want to come see some games and hang out with you guys.
Sounds good, guys. Thank you so much.
Upload some final words for you before we sign off.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. The beautiful thing about Bitcoin to me, it's yes, number go up technology, it's everything, but it's the people, man. The people that I have met through Bitcoin can't be touched. It can't be touched. So yeah, thank you, Daniel Prince. Shout out for introducing me to Lucky. That I get to meet Kevin. Yeah, I don't know how the hell I met Anders, but here we are. But it's a beautiful thing, man. Buy your Bitcoin, hold it. It is your own value. It is a store of value. Everything you work for in life that can't be taken from you. It's the value that you've worked for and you've earned. So hold it and watch what happens this next year, because it's going to be a great bull run.
Okay.
Absolutely. And so I'll say a last couple of words. First of all, both Kevin and Lucky, thank you so much for coming on. I'm really really happy to
That's
meet
awesome.
you guys. And it in the spirit of Thanksgiving coming up next week, I want to say thank you for Daniel Prince to introducing Publord, to Lucky to introduce you all again, to Kevin. So I today had the chance to meet you guys, and great to meet some pro bowlers, some professional athletes. I want to see you guys play real life. And I feel I have some new Bitcoin friends, so I look forward to meet you. And then to people out there, I just want to reiterate that, first of all, once Lucky stops being such a bear and we go into the six-digit realm, then he can definitely come back with a renewed target. I'm kidding. But yeah, on a serious note to you guys out there, be careful how much value you have in fiat currency, because it has a built-in policy of losing value. So don't put more in fiat currency, aka dollars, euro, etc., than you can afford to lose, because it's kind of the policy of that game. So thank you guys again. Thanks, Publord, for making this happen, for
That's
connecting
great,
me to
man.
some great people in this space. And to everyone out there and to you guys, see you on the next one.
Bye, guys. Bye.
Right.
Ciao.